Like, I don't know anything. And I didn't think that it would affect me like this because it was just questions, but I just realized that I don't know anything about them. Hello and welcome back. If you are new here, a special hello to you and welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Michelle. I run the blog Our Redonkulous Life. I post videos and blogs about personal growth, mindset, and mental health topics. And I'm currently on a journey of figuring out who I am as an adult. And I'm sharing these videos to inspire others, to inspire you to figure out who you are and then go after the life that you want. But before we start with today's video, please hit that big red subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it so you get notifications of this hot mess airing out her dirty laundry. But a quick reminder for those who are listening on a podcast platform, there is a video form of this. You can find me on YouTube. The link is always in the show notes of each podcast. And if you are on YouTube and you decide you don't want to watch this video, then go find it on a podcast and go listen to it. We are just crossing content all over social media. If you haven't watched my last couple of videos, it's okay. You don't have to. But in order to know what's going on in this video, you need to watch the two previous videos just so you kind of know what's going on. And this is kind of like an update and a closure to the last two videos. There may be another video in a week or two that expands upon this, but I can't add that in this video until I talk about other topics. So those will be either next week or the week after, as well as kind of showing you behind the scenes footage of me doing the shadow work. Hey, Editing Michelle here. I just wanted to let you know that I completely forgot while I was recording this video and didn't notice till I was editing that I did not mention that I have a freebie on my website for doing shadow work. If you go to the description, the link to my website will be in there. Just click the tab freebies and then sign up for the email list and you will get access to all of my freebies. My 31-day mental health guide, journal prompts, the shadow work PDF, anything that has anything to do with personal growth and shadow work and stuff like that will be there and you will have access to it. So please go check it out if that is something that you are interested in. And I know this is another long video, but I feel seeing this shows the emotional roller coaster that I was on. And I didn't think it was going to affect me as much as it did. But I'm a better person now because of it. And then if you did watch the other videos, here's a little update. I did talk to my dad's best friend. He didn't give me much information to go on. He just basically told me that my dad was a really great guy. It was very sad what happened to him. And then just confirmed my thoughts of my dad being a giant ass nerd. Because I asked him about my dad's girlfriend. I was like, do you know who my dad's girlfriend was? Her name was Grace. And he was like, I don't remember your dad ever having a girlfriend. He was like, but that's why we were friends, because I didn't have many girlfriends either. And I was like, so you two were just a bunch of nerds. And he was like, yeah, basically. So my dad was a fucking nerd. I thought I would have heard more stories, but it was kind of a bust. I mean, it was over 30 years ago and they known each other over 40 years ago. So I understand if he doesn't remember that much about my dad. So I'm just doing some research for my current video coming out about how my dad died. Sorry about the glare. And I was asking my sister some questions about my dad because I'm unsure. So then I was like, you know what, let me message my aunt and see if she knows anything or just confirm where he was at. And it just hit me that I don't know how my parents met. I don't know how long they were together. I don't know how long they were together before they got married. I don't know what day they got married. Like, I don't know anything. And I didn't think that it would affect me like this because it was just questions, but I just realized that I don't know anything about them. And that kind of sucks. I didn't realize how sad this was gonna make me. And it's stupid information. It is, like, whatever, but still. I'm gonna have to look up their marriage record if they still have it, but I'm gonna have, my aunt just suggested that, and go from there. I didn't think it was information that I wanted to know, but I was just like, I was curious, and now, like, it fucking made me upset because I don't know it. God. I'm a fucking blubbering idiot. Okay, I will update when I find out more information. So I just messaged my 3 aunts, which are my dad's sisters. And I just said, hey guys, I made a group chat because I have some questions about my dad that I want to see if you guys can shed some light on for me. And my one aunt replied and said, I'm here. What do you want to know? And I said, I didn't know that this was information that I wanted to know, but it just hit me that I don't know how my mom and dad met. I don't know how long they were together before he passed, how long they were together before I was born, and when they got married. So now I'm just gonna wait and see what they say, and as I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna look on the Pasco County marriage records, see if I can get a record of at least the date of when they were married, because that's really all I'm gonna get from that. But okay, so one of my aunts just replied to me and said, I'm not 100% sure exactly how they met, but I know your mom was the secretary to the mayor of Port Richey or New Port Richey, and I know that they were married before you were born in August of 1985. And then my dad, Mike, died February of 1988. So they were married for almost 3 years. I know that because Kyle was almost 2 months old. I took the phone call in Mississippi when your mother called to notify us that your dad had passed away. And she said, ask me anything and I will answer anything. But apparently nobody knows how they met. Not even my sister. My sister doesn't remember. I would ask my brother, but if I was 2.5, that would make him like 7. I'm sure he doesn't remember. I mean, he might. I'll ask. That's all I can do. So I said, I appreciate that. I'm just working on something for the blog, and all of this just hit me that I didn't know shit. I wish Mom would have been more open and honest with me when she was alive, but she wouldn't talk about him. And I said, where did you guys grow up? Is it a place I can go see? And my aunt replied, we grew up in Florida. And I said, I would like to know more about him as a kid. Also, I'm really annoyed that there was never a wedding picture of them. I would have loved to have that. And so my aunt just said, call me. So now I'm going to go call her. So I can't do these video updates. When I called my aunt, I didn't think I was going to be able to do the little video updates and stuff because I would be on my phone. And I use my phone for everything. I don't have a fancy camera or anything like that. I just use my phone for everything. You know, we're not a fancy company over here at Our Redonkulous Life. This is a one-woman show. I am not Gary Vee. Someday, but it's not today. I had the idea of using my webcam to record the conversation because I originally wasn't going to post our conversation. The whole point of recording the conversation was that I knew between me and my aunt, we are both talkers. So we would be on the phone for a while. And it proves it because that was a 5-hour conversation. So I recorded about 3 to 4 hours of it. So I knew that I would probably forget a lot of what she said. And in order for me not to, I sat at my desk and recorded with my webcam. And I'm not going to show the full 3-4 hour conversation that I recorded because no one would want to watch that. But I did want to share some of the important parts in helping me figure out the timeline of how I was born. And I never understood that, but now doing this whole getting to know myself and my issues, I want to work through it and everything because it does hinder me. It does prevent me from doing certain things because I'm basically trained that way.
Yeah, you got to break the cycle.
Yeah. And that's what, I didn't think it was going to affect me this much when I asked Jen, do you know when they got married? When they got together? I'm like, how do I not know this? Why was that not my first question when asking Mom about my dad? I never asked that. And so...
Do you really honestly think she would have told you?
I mean, it's just a date. I mean, But
to be honest though, she didn't want you to see any of us, not even your dad in it. Even after your dad died, she didn't want you to see him in a good light.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she would have been 100% honest with you.
I like to give her the benefit of the doubt.
And my mom, when she found out, because like I said, she still had a lot of friends and stuff. We had a lot of friends down here still. Mm-hmm. The first thing she did was call the Pasco County Sheriff's Department. What's the common denominator here?
Yeah, and I hate to think that about my mom, but it wouldn't surprise me if someone somewhere knew something and then came one day and was like, I think your mom, or I know your mom did this. And I would be like, okay. It wouldn't surprise me if someone came and told me that. Because
you know what I'm thinking too? I'm thinking that I really believe that what happened too is, like you said, I really think that he may not have participated in it, mm-hmm. but I think he may have known mm-hmm. that your mom did something to Mike, mm-hmm. and it just weighed on him and weighed on him and weighed on him, and he probably went to her and said, hey,
I can't live with this anymore.
I can't live with this anymore, and she was scared he was going to go say something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've always thought that.
Yeah. I mean, she had nothing.
It's funny that you're thinking about all this because these are things that I've always thought, and my mother and me have always talked about.
But everything that has happened stems from my mom, and I understand to a certain point that she had her issues, Like, she had her shit growing up and, like, didn't, like, fucked with her and didn't make her the best person. But, like, for Jen, when she had the boys, she was like, I will never do to the boys what mom did to us. Like, I will never. And that's how I am. But I had to unlearn that. I was like, I'm done. I'm like, I need to go. So as soon as Jen was like, do you want to come live with me after I graduated high school? I was like, yes. Because Mark was still in the picture. Like, she never left him. And that's why, like, I fucking hated her. So that's why I spent the next, like, freaking 15 years going, hey, if my dad was still alive, my life could have been a lot different. Like, I would have never been in that physical altercation. I would have never did this or did that. I would have experimented with drugs. Like, I would have never tried to kill myself twice. Like, I would have never done any of this because I wouldn't have had these chain reactions happen. But then I'm also like, but then I wouldn't be me and be empathetic and nice to everyone. Like you, like, I want to help everybody. And I feel guilty if I can't. Because, and that's why my whole blog thing is like, I know what it's like to not have friends. I know what it's like to not have people believe in you. I know what it's like to be alone or be an afterthought. And I don't want anyone to ever feel that way. You know, so it's like, I'm kind of glad that these things happened because that's made me who I am today. But it also sucks because I'm fucked up in the head. You know, and it sucks. And I will never have any answers because she died. Not that I got answers while she was alive, but, you know, it just sucks. You know, because when I think of, like, family and stuff, like, it's like the movies. You think you have a mom and a dad. Even when the parents split up, like, you have your other family. You still have family. And there are times where I'm just like, I'm alone. And it's not true. But, like, I don't know you guys the way I should know you. I don't know my mom's family the way that I should. You know, it's like people are like, I'm hanging out with my cousins or my cousins are coming over. Like, I don't know what that's like.
But you know, it's just funny that you be wanting to ask any of these questions and that some of the things you were already thinking for things we've been thinking for years.
Yeah. That has to be the one thing. That has to mean something. That's the one thing that, like, freaking, like, shocked me when you're like, this is what I think. And I'm like, that's what I'm thinking. And we don't even talk. Even when it happened, like, it's not like we've had conversations like this. You know, and was like, this is what I think happened. Which I don't know why, like, I don't know why I didn't ask these questions when I was with Joe, which was like, oh my God, I don't even know.
God knows when the timing is right, and that just wasn't the right time. Right now was probably the right time. Things happen when they're supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Even though we don't know why.
And,
I mean, things happen for a reason. We may not always understand it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm like, when I reached out earlier when I was with Joe, and I was with Joe in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was first like, oh my God, how come I don't know, like, my dad's family? Like, you know, let me go on this journey or whatever. Like, none of my questions were like these questions. It was just like, oh, you're part of my dad's family. Like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's awesome. It's like, you think not having answers, like, those would have been like my first questions.
No, because your mind probably had time to process it.
Yeah.
Because you might have had those feelings down deep inside, but you weren't really ready to admit, oh my God, I actually think this about my mom.
Oh no, no.
Like, she's your mom.
No, I've been thinking about that since I was with Joe. But I never said it out loud because I'm like, that's stupid. I'm like, that's preposterous. Like, that's.
Yeah, you're just thinking to yourself, like, there's no way that my mother could have done that.
Yeah. But now that I'm older.
You probably didn't ask because, like I'm saying, like I'm telling you, yes, that's exactly what I think.
Yeah.
It probably would have spun you off on a tangent if you would have heard this back then. Because you probably weren't ready for it back then.
It just sucks that I wish I would have, like, said something while she was still alive and, like, freaking cornered her. And, you know, so now, like, I'm sitting here, like, replaying her being in the hospital or, like, the things that she was trying to say, like, you know, and, like, did I miss something? Did she try? And, like, but knowing her, she probably didn't. So that I need to quit doing. But I'm just like, it's crazy that this happened 33 and a half years ago or 32 and a half years ago. And you guys have the same thoughts that I came to on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Because and that was the whole reason why I have a degree in criminal justice. That was my motivation. But then nobody was hiring in my field. So I never did anything with it. But I'm like, but what, how could I solve that cold case now? Like, there's no evidence. The microwave's gone. You know, like, my mom's not going to say anything. I'm like, the only people that were there, as far as I know.
Or anyone that she could have told, they're gone.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, anyone that was in that house at the time, as far as we're told, was her, me, Greg, and my dad. Well, 2 of us are underage. We're not going to remember what happened. But when Grandpa brought it up, without me even saying anything, like, I wasn't there for an apology. Like, I just wanted to see them. Like, I haven't seen him in God knows how long. I wish I talked to him more. You know, because it sucks. Like, you hear people, I'm going to get fucking emotional. You hear people that are like, oh, like, they go and see their grandpa and everything, or they go and see their grandma. And it's like, they're like these cute little old people, and they just say the cutest things. And, you know, like, they have such a close-knit relationship. And I'm like, I want that. I want that. But because of my mom, I don't. You know, and that's like a long list. That's one of the reasons on the long list of reasons why I don't like her. Why, like, I love her because she's my mom, but I fucking hate her. I fucking hate her. You know, I'm like, all she had to do, and I know that when she was younger, and even as an adult, like, this whole, like, personal growth and, like, ending, you know, the trauma and stuff like that and working through all that was not a thing. But, like, damn, man, like, I didn't even know it was a thing. And I, like, knew internally that I'm just like, damn, I don't want to live like this anymore. Like, it's like if she just had that one thought that was like, damn, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, shit could have been fucking different. But it was like all poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me. And I fucking hate that. So in the middle, I don't know why I have my headphones in. I wanted to jump on because I'm getting emotional. I mean, I'm having questions about my dad that I didn't know that I was gonna have. And I also realized some things that break my heart. And I mean, I can't change it. It sucks knowing, but right now I'm getting emotional because it's secondhand guilt. You know, I have on one hand people telling me that my dad was such a great guy and like he would do anything for anybody. And then I have my sister, and growing up, my mom, sometimes my brother, you know, like, your dad was an asshole. Your dad was an asshole. Like, he treated us like shit. And it's secondhand guilt. Like, I know it's not a reflection on me, but it still sucks that the person that helped create me put his hands on people that I love. And again, I don't know how true any of this is. I don't know. I was 2.5. I'm not discrediting my sister. I'm not discrediting my mom, nor if my brother has ever said anything. It's just, I don't know who to believe. You know, but, and it's not who to believe. It's like, you know, not everyone knows the whole story. So yes, my dad could have been an asshole. And I also talk about how I know my mom's an instigator. You know, she likes to start stuff. And, you know, it could just be escalation. He could be part asshole, but only asshole when provoked. But then my mom provokes him, and then he's an asshole. Or he's really just an asshole all the time, and the only people who think he is good, like a master manipulator, like a narcissist, you know, that other family members just think he's so wonderful, but behind closed doors, he's a monster. And it's hard to think that about your father, especially when you don't know. And I will never know the whole story. I will never know the truth because he is dead and my mother's dead. So I kind of have to take the bits and pieces from everyone and put them together into a story that makes sense for me. That's something that I can deal with, something that I can live with. But at the end of the day, it's all he said, she said, they said, I say, I feel, they feel, you know, all this. And it's just a story. It's not the truth. It's just what I can live with. You are putting in the work, doing the shadow work, and it always catches me off guard when I'm trying, like I'm writing about an emotional topic, about a video or something that's coming up on my YouTube and stuff like that, and it always catches me off guard because I'm trying to look at this emotional topic from an outsider's perspective, because technically I am an outsider. Was I there? Yes, but I was so young that I have like no opinions or anything like that. But when it has to deal with family members, it always catches me off guard when I'm trying to do it from an outsider's perspective and then I write something and make myself cry. I'm an emotional basket case. This is why I've avoided doing my shadow work for so long, because I'm an emotional basket case and I will think about this and think about it and think about it and think about it and think about it until I can't think about it anymore, and then I just want to ignore it, and I can't do that anymore. Like, I have to work through it and come to a conclusion of something that I can live with. Okay, so you know how I said previously that I recorded 3 to 4 hours of mine and my aunt's conversation that was almost 5 hours long. Well, I am only about 14 minutes into the first video and I have 6 pages of notes. Like, there is so much information that has gone into my dad's death that, I mean, it's crazy the things that have happened. And I'm like, my brain is fried, and to the point where I'm like, do I even think that I can make this video? Because I'm only 14 minutes in and it's 6 pages of information. That's crazy. When I was on the phone with my aunt and talking with my sister, I realized that I'd never been to the house where he died. I'm 35 years old and have never once thought to go to the house. The last time I was there, I was 2.5. I definitely don't remember it. Driving by, I had mixed emotions. A part of me was like, this is just somebody's house. Like, you're just filming somebody's house. And the other part of me had this overwhelming feeling of sadness because that was the last place that I ever saw my dad. This was the last place that he was alive. As I was recording that video, because I just wanted video evidence that I went there. So I just recorded just a little, clip going around. And as we passed, we heard a guy like next door yelling. And we didn't know if he was yelling at me and Mike for like recording the house, or if his dog was running towards our car and he was like, hey, hey, hey. I didn't turn around to like physically look or like make eye contact with him. So we just kept driving. But I was like, what if that guy was yelling at us? I didn't want to stay to find out. If you guys are enjoying these videos, please like, comment, share. Most of all, subscribe so you can come back week after week and see this hot mess just all over the place. Because it is going to be an emotional roller coaster that we go through, because I still got so many traumatic events to talk about. When I made the mistake of wanting to post my video about my dad's death a day early. It was supposed to come out tomorrow, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want to post it today, so I was watching it to make sure like everything was good to go. And I didn't expect to start crying at 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, I was fine watching it, and then as soon as I saw myself crying in the video, I just got choked up and started crying. So how's your morning going? Because mine's going fantastic. But anyway, the video's gonna go live at 8, if you guys want to watch. Oh, God. Get it together, woman. I uploaded my first video explaining kind of how my dad died and everything. I was originally going to post it on the Saturday, but because the blog post had gone up, I was like, you know what? I should just post it a day early. So I went to go watch it on YouTube to make sure that everything was good. And this was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I just bawled my eyes out. I made myself cry. Like, I was good watching it, but as soon as I saw myself crying, I got emotional, because then it started bringing up everything that I was feeling as I was recording, as I was writing the blog post. Like, just everything came back, and I just started bawling. I thank you for your comment. I really do appreciate it. But I did want to elaborate a little bit more on my previous video. My dad died when I was 2, and when I was 20, I started reaching out to some of his family members just to try and get to know him. But reading an article about him, there was something that just didn't sit right with me about his death. So I kind of just kept it to myself, because it's something that no child should think about one of their parents. So the video on YouTube is of just me going through the information that I'm finding and kind of backing up what I have thought all these years. And then I finally admit it on camera, because I just need to get it off my chest. I need to be open and honest and show how I'm working through past trauma, childhood trauma, current trauma, just all of it. Then I had to clarify, since I posted that video on TikTok, I had to do a response comment to somebody because I was getting a lot of comments of like, sorry for your loss, my condolences, you know, like I just lost my dad too. And so I had to make a video like, I didn't lose my dad like recently, but I needed to clarify that. And also to kind of like entice them to go watch the YouTube video, to go read the blog post, to see what was going on. But I felt really bad because I didn't want people to think that I was posting that to get sympathy like my dad died, like recently. This is just some of the work that I did behind the scenes, just trying to figure out the timeline of how I came to be born, because I didn't know any of that. And trying to figure out the timeline was exhausting. But I also learned more about my dad's death. I learned more about my family, and I ended up admitting something that I never thought that I would ever admit on the internet for all the world to see. One thing that did make me happy but also really sad at the same time was that I made the mistake of doing that TikTok trend where you can animate like an old photo of a loved one on MyHeritage. I did that with my dad. I did that with a whole bunch of family members' photos, but I did it with my dad because the only memory that I have of my dad is of the back of him, hanging up curtains, the back of him going to fix the microwave. And that's the only memory I have of my dad, and that's the memory that I have played in my head over and over and over, and I never see his face. The only reason why I know what my dad looks like is because of pictures, because of his family. I myself only have maybe, I want to say 5 photos of my dad. Any other photo that I have was from his family. So I took 2 photos, one of his military ID photo and one of the picture of me and him. And I animated those, and I made myself bawl like a baby. Like, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. But I'm gonna play them for you right now. Don't be creeped out by the baby head moving. Like, I can't help that. I've tried to fix it. Just ignore the baby. When I say ignore the baby, I mean ignore me, because I'm the baby in the photo. I learned a lot about my family in these past 2-3 weeks, more than anything my mom ever told me growing up. I feel a little bit lighter getting my thoughts off my chest. Again, as I said in my previous video, with everything that's happened to me throughout my childhood into my adult life, I felt like I had no one that I could talk to about this and about the things that happened. So why not just post it on the internet for the world to see, and in hopes that I find strangers who are just as fucked up as I am that want to be friends with me. But anyways, that is all for now. There is more to this story. Not my dad's story, but it does involve my dad's story, and we will get to it in the next couple of weeks. I may do something lighter next week, something a little, like upbeat, since we went down this morbid track of death and murder and are full of emotions right now. I mean, since we're feeling this way, maybe we'll continue down that path, just to get it all off my chest. I don't know exactly yet. It depends on how I feel. And I don't know if I'm so emotionally drained from all of this to continue on, or if I need to do this and then do something light and then do another story and then do something light, kind of just alternate it so I'm not like so just always in my feelings, because I don't want to do that. I don't. But anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. You tell me what you want in the comments below. If you want another hot mess story of my childhood, or if you want something a little bit more lighter, something that can help you with personal growth or your mindset or mental health, or are you enjoying hearing about my effed up childhood? Either way, let me know, because I am here to give you what you guys want. But that is it for now. I will say this one more time. Please comment, like, share, subscribe to come back if you like this face. Because I don't know what you look like, but I already like you because you're watching my video. That's much love. But anyways, until next time, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.